we're now in Girona, and a quick tip is do not park inside of the old town. Park right outside. I'm going to put the name of the parking spot here, and then just walk across the bridge into the town. So we are now headed into the old town of Girona, which is a medieval walled city, and this is where they filmed a lot of the episode, well, a lot of scenes from season 6 of Game of Thrones. I think it doubled or even tripled as the different fictional towns in Game of Thrones. I know Bravos, where Arya Stark was training to be the many-faced person, however you call that. So she was here filming a few of those locations. So that's what we're gonna go see today. All right, so our first stop is in Torre Gironella. It's at the highest point in the old town of Girona. And a fun fact, which is not so fun about this area, is that back in 1391, about 40 Jews sought refuge right inside this tower here. There's not much of the ruins that you can see, but it's still a historical landmark and definitely worth a stop, which is why I made it my first stop. And it's much easier to just hike all the way up to the highest point and then start making your way down back to the parking lot and making other stops along the way.
We're now going to try to find the entrance to go to the top of the walls of the city.
No, further down. Are there stairs or is it like...
It's a long way up.
Another cool thing that you can do here in Girona is walk along the 19th century city walls. There are walkways and there's a tower with a beautiful scenic vantage point.
And once you're done walking the murals, you can just head straight down to Jardín de Alemanes. Destination.
What's the next one?
So this garden is also known as the German Gardens because during the Peninsula War, they were actually stationed here, and you can still see the barracks where they used to live in. There's the door. Look at this one here. And there's the entrance to their German gardens, or Jardín de Alemanes.
Now, some of these next few clips may seem a little familiar to you because they were used as filming locations for Arya Stark in the city of Bravos. right around this corner on these stairs up to this church is where Jaime Lannister was going up the stairs in his white horse, leading up to where the High Sparrow was and Marjorie. I believe when Marjorie was held captive. Let's take a look.
If we sin, we must atone. Marjorie of House Tyrell came to us a sinner. She stood before the gods in the Holy Sept and lied. She turned a blind eye to her brother's sins. She disgraced her house, her king, and herself.
All right, so now we are headed to the Eiffel Bridge, which is the same person that built, obviously, the Eiffel Tower. So I guess this bridge was made immediately after the Eiffel Tower was done. It's only a 5-minute walk from the Cathedral of Girona.
That's where we walked in, not this one, the next one over. We are now walking through the 13th century Jewish quarter here in Girona, also known as the Call. The Jewish quarter here in Girona is famed as one of the best preserved in all of Europe. Is it open? Do not leave the area without making a quick visit to the Jewish Museum. For just a few euros, you'll be able to learn the history of the Jewish communities in Catalonia.
And after you're done exploring, there's nothing but cafes and restaurants, of course. Sí.
Walking through this town really does feel like you stepped back in time.
So we are now in the Arab baths, where Arya was running away from the waif trying to kill her, and she ran in here.
In the show, they filmed this part pretty dark because, of course, in the Arab baths, it was dark and steamy, but this is how it looks on the inside. Can you guess what scene this part was from?
Hello.
That was a scene when Samuel first arrived to the citadel of Old Town to study to become a Meister. Sant Pere Galligans is a former Benedictine abbey that dates back to the 12th century. You need this. This is how much walking we've done so far. But it's worth it with everything we've seen. You're falling asleep.
All right, now that we finished at the Romanesque monastery, then you want to take a left and walk over the bridge where Arya stood over, and she looked out to the distance and saw a huge giant. Of course, that's CGI, but this is the bridge where she was standing.
Right here is Placa del Jurats, which is where Arya was standing over, watching as the town made a play of the Lannisters.
The lion and the rose are one. I thank the gods above, and to you, my beauteous bride.
This is where our tour ended, and if you followed my itinerary, then it would only be a 4-minute walk from this last church up to the parking garage.
All right, so we're all done doing the DIY tour for Game of Thrones filming locations. We also saw a lot more than just the filming locations. The actors, they were actually here for about 6 months, and they ended in September of 2016. Again, all of those sceneries that I showed you, it was for season 6. So we started at 12, finished at 4, so it took about 4 hours. So I definitely would say that this was a budget-friendly day. We just paid a few euros in each museum that we stopped at, and the Arab baths. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun. But we're gonna end from Girona now. We're gonna head back to Lloret de Mar, which is where the hotel is, and we're just gonna relax for the rest of the day. We did enough walking. We're gonna go out to have dinner and just, again, relax. Maybe get some cocktails. You wanna grab some cocktails? All right guys, so thank you so much for watching. Till the next time.